Right, guys, we're back with game number 2 between Offensive Gaming and Sean Kingston. Now, first game, Offensive Gaming showed great macro over there. Urel will be the first ban. Genji and Phoenix, the bans for Sean Kingston, alongside with Decker Kane being taken out. I think this would be a prime time to pick up a white main, as you can see. And we'll see how well white main works for him. I mean, the Decker Kane was all right, not as much healing as the Alex Raza ultimately put out, but I think that was largely because of the level differential, not because of the fact that Decker Kane was not the right choice. Now, Dahaka and Jaina, once again, they really like these two picks, and I don't blame them. I feel Jaina is a pretty potent pick. Now, do I rate her maybe in the first rotation? I'm not quite sure. Dahaka, I can definitely see in your first rotation here. And with White Main being the pick here, I'd ban out Alex Straza now to take her off the table, which would then take, 3 of the top healers gone. Now, the Diablo and Raynor, I really like this. You get slows from White Main, slows from Diablo, and then Raynor. We've been seeing some people not opt for Ace in the hole, the stacking quest instead, and we're going to see a Johanna banned out. So, Offensive Gaming. Offensive Gaming definitely like to play the macro game as we saw last time, and they also opted to pick Sky Temple. So Sky Temple is definitely a very macro heavy map. Timing of camps right before temples, the rotations, who you're going to put in each lane, all very, very critical. So you can see they're picking up the Greymane. Greymane will be doing the camps worm. Muradin, well, Muradin will be doing Muradin things. And Dahaka will be in the solo lane and be able to jump around as needed, putting additional pressure on Sean Kingston to deal with, well, his potentially infinite pressure that he can put. And if Sean Kingston isn't able to capitalize before a burrow, they'll be in a losing situations in terms of XP. They'll need to get themselves killed to make it up, or they'll need the global to make up for it. Now, Kel'Thas and Leo. I think FWC Esports made a case that Kel'Thas is a very potent pick in the right hands. And Leo can definitely do a lot of work here. Look at their team. Dahaka, he will have to pick up Tunneling Claws. Jaina will have to use the Ice Block. And Greymane, well, will have to be able to Q through him. Muradin does have the leap, and Karazim does have the dash. All of that is enough to potentially survive an Entomb, but if they can get the Entomb comboed out well, then this comp is looking a lot better. You have Leo for wave clear, Kel'Thas for wave clear, Raynor's okay for wave clear. Not, not the hotness, but not like gonna be a total drag on you. Now, Karazim as the pick, though, is going to be 7-sided. I'm almost certain of that. They're just trying to blow up Diablo ASAP. If they can blow up Diablo, they still have to deal with Leo, but Leo has very little peel, which means it's very easy to run onto the back line. So we're going to introduce these two teams once again, if it won't ping. We got Sturge once again on the Dahaka. We got Slytherin once again on the Jaina. Light Nyx on the Karazim. Exalted One on the Greymane. Frank jukes on that Muradin, and that is going to be offensive gaming. On the other side, we got Hellbent on the Kel'Thas, Gold Fortune on the Rainer, Mundane Zebra on that Leoric, Doobie on the Diablo, Wex is going to be on the White Mane, and that is going to be Sean Kingston. Now, we're going to have Leo and Dehaka head straight to the top lane, which means that we should probably see someone like a nice stun coming on out. The gravity lapse is going to be way off base there, and the 4-man rotation is taken off on offensive gaming. Just a little bit of a lead there. So taking a look at what talents we have the Fingers of Frost, the Devil's Due, Martyrdom, the Ace in the Hole, and the Consume Vitality. Other side, we have Block. So the block here, it makes sense because of the slow attack speeds from most of the heroes, and additionally Rainer. We also have the Fingers of Frost, Viciousness, and the Enhanced Agility. So this is a very early camp. They're going to pick it up pretty much on spawn, and they'll be getting the pressure in the bot lane almost immediately. They're going to live with having just Rainer sitting mid, and this is one thing a lot of teams do poorly in macro. There is basically nothing for you to do in the case of Gold Fortune, and he's been sitting here for 15 to 20 seconds doing nothing. He could have been actually starting the camp up with Doobie way before, and Frank Jukes might actually spot this out. I don't know if they'll invade this. Yeah, they're not going to invade this because there are way too many members down here. Frank Jukes cannot come in and deal with Doobie, Hellbent, and Wex. That's a 4v2. They're not 4v2ing today, at least at this point. They do have Slytherin in position, but it's not really going to matter. But in the top lane, Mundane Zebra actually going to body Sturge there just a little bit, send him on back and make him burrow on up. So Mundane going to get them a little bit of a lead here, something that they really need in comparison to last game. Now, top will have to be cleared, obviously, but it's a little bit early, the pickup. This pickup leaves roughly another 4 seconds before, or 15 seconds before the temple phase. You can see that there it goes, but at this point, well, there's another 30 seconds, and they've gotten no value really out of the night camp. Same thing happened technically in the bot lane. They didn't get much value out of their siege as well. In that sort of situation, you just kind of have to accept you've put some pressure, you matched them a bit. I would have actually liked to see them take it a little bit later, either team or the temple phase. And now the temples will be picked up. Hellbent, Wex are rotating it on up to do this night camp. This is a very late night camp to pick up, which is going to put him in a major disadvantage. At this point, Sean Kingston should basically give up that night camp and take it for later, because now they're giving up all of mid. Although at this point, they don't know where they are, and so this may not be too bad. They haven't actually rotated on top, and Mundane has bodied Sturge before. So Burrow has been used. Mundane, a drop in the drain, staying alive, much healthier. Gold Fortune coming on in. Sturge does not have much of a place to go. The drain is going to land, and the slow on top of that. So Mundane getting some good value out of this, can now push on in with Gold Fortune sitting on up there. There's the drain coming on in. Frank Jukes is here as well with Lightnix, but we have all members of Sean Kingston here. Doobie coming on in. There's Frank Jukes getting slow. The stun overpower and a follow-up stun. Frank Jukes getting on low, and they'll have to back on off. Now, this is how your night camp should be used. So despite getting out macroed last game, nice overpower in the pushback from the shadow charge will cause Sturge to be going down here. And second kill of the game going over to Sean Kingston. This is how your night camp should be used. Despite me criticizing their choice and how late they picked it up, offensive gaming never took advantage of the man. Well, the 4-man advantage they had. They had too many people sitting around here, and they didn't even take down the fort when it was all said and done. Sean Kingston, on the other hand, has actually gotten themselves a kill. They got the top, and they've taken down the front wall. It looks like we're going to need a pause. No, Slytherin is back. And so at this point, we have Mundane clearing up mid. Bot lane is being shoved on in, which is not very good for Sean Kingston. They've already lost the tower. Mundane coming on down will actually catch out the Slytherin, but he's coming on down to clear this up. And in the meantime, they are going to actually take down the Siege Giants and pick them up and steal them from Sean Kingston. This is very nicely done from Offensive Gaming. They're giving up the top, but they're gaining what I consider a better advantage for the next tempo. There's Siege Giants that have been stripped from them. They have no wall, and they're actually starting up this boss. Sean Kingston has devoted so many resources to the top lane, and they're so slow to rotate that this is a free boss for Offensive Gaming. So at this point, Sean Kingston is in a very, very bad position. They have a boss marching on down. They have Temple Face to deal with. And oh yeah, there's also Siege Giants up here. And you lost your own Siege Giants. This is about as bad of a situation as you can get for the bot lane. And you can actually see Offensive Gaming saying, we're going to let the boss do its thing. We're going to go take mid. We're going to get 10. And then Sean Kingston cannot do anything versus us at this point. Boss is going to be going on down. They lost the tower, but they did not lose the fort. So they need to head into mid, pick up 10 before they can actually try to fight in the bot lane. So now Mundane Zebra is clearing out mid, but this is a 5v4. This is a very bad positioning from Sean Kingston. Knockback from Gold Fortuna will save the day for now, but 7-sided strike following it up, or the cursed bullet followed up by the 7-sided strike, and not even needed a 7-sided strike. Do be blown into next year. So that leaves a Mundane Zebra and Sturge basically to duke it out as they try to keep up the lane pressure and the soak. So Sean Kingston has to fully retreat and give up every shot on this tempo until Doobie is back. They will actually leave, so they know where several members are right now. This is actually an awkward situation for Sean Kingston because they could go for Frank Jukes down here, but they're actually rotating up for top. There's the knockback. Doobie trying to chase him, but because of that enhanced agility, he's able to get out. Gold Fortune may have actually saved Sturge's life there. This is a very awkward situation now. They devoted those resources. They did save the fort, but at this point, they're still behind structurally. They have front wall that's taking damage. Top is almost down. Bot is completely down. Mid's and yes, and the invade coming on in. Doobie, Curse Bullet coming on in. 7-sided strike as well. Mundane Zebra going to be going down here, and they are not going to be getting these knights as well as they've all retreated back off to there. In the meantime, they're actually scaring him off. Doobie coming on and hot with the bomb from Hellbank, going to make sure Greymane goes down. But Sturge picks up the Night Camp, and the Ring of Frost, devastating Sean Kingston, putting them all on ice. They've all been Han Solo'd and put in Carbonite.
It seems a hero has taken life.
So we had Mundane Zebra drop after that. Unfortunate. But taking a look at what we have here, 12 stacks out of 20 on Mana Addict. Not what you want to see. You can see, I mean, Fingers of Frost is a 20 stack talent as well. So he should 100% be done. Doobie getting the overpower and the charge, but the stun won't actually connect, so they'll have to back on off in the meantime. Top is now getting pushed in by a double Night Camp, which is going to be very, very brutal here. I mean, look at this massive wave. This is not easy to deal with. Bomb being spread onto Lightnix. We got Wex dropping some damage, and they still have the armor. The spell armor is still temporarily up. It finally goes down. Frank Jukes is really low, but Phoenix coming out really late. At this point, the Phoenix is really a waste. I mean, when you look at what was up there, there was multiple Night Camps and no Phoenix being dropped, but after he dropped the Phoenix. So Mundane trying to keep up with the soak. Sturge just going to sit on up there, try and clear up the siege in the meantime. And the actual burrow from Sturge coming out a little bit too early. 13 versus 14 is not the most optimal, but it's not the worst situation either. So Sean Kingston hasn't gotten in on any point and essentially sat around in mid way too long, not actually accomplishing much of anything there. So pushing with the Siege Giants here is not bad at all, but they'll be able to see the rotation down here from Offensive Gaming. That should be happening very shortly. Doobie has some great position here, keeping eyes on where they are if they should rotate down, which allows Sean Kingston to actually push in to try and get as much XP as they can. But they're going to lose this keep 100% at this point. There's no way they're going to core this, but this is definitely a keep going down. So we have a wave still pushing in bot. Sturge is top. He should be able to just hearth back and clear that up. If they go and deal with it. Oh, Offensive Gaming looking for the opportunity to get him in the bush. But at this point, the wave is too far forward for them to actually have Sean Kingston push out and be ganked. But 16 versus 14, they're looking for it. Gold for Toon. Frank Jukes a drop in the stun. There's a 7-sided on multiple members, but Scarlet Age is coming on out as well. We got the root. Mundane Zebra on Slytherin right now, and the Lightning Breath melting through him. One down. Lightnix is super low. 2, 3. They're falling like dominoes over here. Hellbent trying to take down Surge, getting the living bomb, but no gravity lapse will connect. Mundane is looking for more, doesn't have the entomb. They're going to back on off for now, and they'll have to accept a 3-for-1 and very likely boss now. Now, this is pretty wild. They took the fight 14 versus 16, won 14 versus 16, and are now going to get this boss. This is about as wild as you get in a game. Normally, you wouldn't get that much value, but Mundane Zebra just walked all the way back, took out the Jaina, and the Ring of Frost never even was able to be used because she was never in a position to use it. And at that point, the rest of Sean Kingston was able to do all of the work needed to take down the rest of the members who had already fully committed to trying to win that 16 versus 14. Now, boss is going to be taken down here decently quick, but this is going to give them breathing room. They now have hit 16, Sean Kingston. Offensive Gaming has lost some of the momentum, and they'll be able to get some of these tower shots, or temple shots. And the big problem is that, of course, like mid lane is down. They need to get as much pressure as quickly as they can. Unfortunately, they didn't actually get on the temples at all, so this could theoretically be full shots for Offensive Gaming if the fight doesn't go in Sean Kingston's favor. So Sean Kingston trying to tap on up, but Whitemane is not here quite yet. Mundane coming on in, getting the spooky ghost ready to go. Exalted One has nowhere to go at this point. A Doobie coming on in the backside, but 7-sided strike instantly annihilating a Mundane Zebra. Lightning Breath though tearing through him. Slytherin very far forward, gets the Ring of Frost however, and our Sean Kingston is going to be going down here as 2, 3 members have now fallen. Exalted One really low, Lightning's pretty low, and this is a reverse. 3-for-1 situation. So this is exactly what I was concerned about. They committed the resources to getting the night camp, but they didn't commit any resources to get some early shots off, which means now they lose everything here. Doobie is back. They've split up significantly. Frank, however, will be able to just jump on out, and they'll be taking the rest of the shots here in the meantime. Those shots will not even be enough to actually take down this fort, unfortunately. And they have to be concerned about the catapults that are building up now in the mid lane. Doobie coming on up. Frank Jukes got perfect eyes on this in this rotation. Thankfully, Wex is not the one to get stunned there. Unfortunately for Frank Jukes, well, his stun didn't land on the softer, more juicy target. However, this is a 3v4, and the 7-sided cursed bullet combo coming out again, and Mundane and Doobie will be going down here. We have Gold Fortune trying to do what he can, but Wex will not be able to keep him up for long, and that is now 3 members already down. With all souls being used up, Doobie technically is killed, but is back, and it looks like he's here to actually feed with his 0 souls. So that's going to be GG as Offensive Gaming takes game number 2. We got the Avatar coming on out. Mundane Zebra trying to reduce that damage. Not going to be enough, but does get the drain on Frank, keeping himself topped on off. But there are catapults, and the court is falling at this point. 60% and falling, not rapidly, but falling. 50%. They have only Whitemane and Leo technically. Well, actually, sorry. They don't even have Leo since he's a ghost. But it's not going to matter. With offensive taking that key fight for the 2 temples, then taking that top fight, and well, that's how the cookie crumbles. So, taking a look at those stats, Slytherin hitting 31k, Gold Fortune hitting 29k, Greymane hitting 29k, Hellbent hitting 27k, 27.5k. Healing output, well, this time Whitemane actually did the majority of the healing, 40.8k versus the 32.3k. The big thing that happened was the 7-sided cursed bullet combo just worked incredibly well for him. They were able to get themselves several kills on the front line, negating any of the big beefiness that Diablo has. And on the flip side, when they were able to get the bombs to spread appropriately and the flame strikes on point, they really were able to chew through the Greymane and the Jaina. Unfortunately, that didn't happen enough for them that game, and well, if you don't get things to work in your favor, you're going to lose. And that's unfortunately how it mostly went down for Sean Kingston. Taking a quick look here, we had the block from Muradin, which I pointed out, and the reverb, and Skullcracker. So Skullcracker is an interesting choice. I don't really feel Skullcracker is appropriate when you have a Jaina in almost any situation, but that's what they chose. We had the healing static and the stone form, so no thunderclap increase, or sorry, no second thunderclap to combo with the healing static. We had the Iron Fist, Earth Ally, the Blinding Dash, 7-sided, 6th Sense, Cleansing Touch, and the Storm Shield. And then we had the route to go with the Cone of Cold with the Machine Gun build. Other side, we had the Viciousness, Eyes in the Dark, the Wizened Duelist, First Bullet, Predator Assault, Executioner, and Tooth and Claw. Enhanced Agility, Hero Stalker, Constriction, Adaptation instead of the Isolation, Primal Swarm, Tunneling Claws, and Change is Survival, which is insane. Now, other side, we had the Spooky Ghost build. We had Fury of the Sunwell with the Backdraft instead of Pyromaniac. This could have actually hurt them a lot. The Backdraft probably didn't successfully get him kills or in most of those fights, or save him in most of those fights. The rest we have here, we have Intercession, Scarlet Aegis, Harsh Discipline, and the Radiance here. Then we had Ace in the Hole, the Behemoth Armor, Unstable Compound, Rainer's Raiders, a Rallying Cry, and Bounty Hunter. which is interesting that he went with the rallying cry instead of something like a giddy up. And then we also had Bounty Hunter, which is not bad because of the fact that there's Meriden in avatar form. So that is going to be this series, and I'm going to see if Offensive Gaming would like to do an interview. So sit on tight in the meantime.